If you're thinking about moving to Dubai, it's important to understand all of the aspects. It's important to not only look at the good side. We want to look at people's experiences and some of the bad things that they had to say about Dubai to see whether or not it's still a place for us. So that's exactly what I want to do in this video. I want to take a look at someone who has been here for 2 years and look at some of the things they didn't like about Dubai and see what I think about them as someone who's actually lived in Dubai on and off for about 9 years now. With that said, of course, if you do want to set yourself up in Dubai, if you want to buy property in Dubai, if you want to buy property in Bali, or you want to talk about getting a better tax experience depending on where you are in the world, then head to the links down there in the description and one of my partners may be able to help you with that. And if you want to stay up to date with what I'm doing with my money, whether it's buying property in Dubai, buying property in Bali, setting up in different jurisdictions, then this could potentially be the channel for you. So smash on that subscribe button and let's jump into today's video. So I found this video here. This guy is named Liam Otley. He has a massive YouTube channel. From what I can see, he's in the e-com and finance space. Okay, so let's jump into it. Here are the cons he's found from living in Dubai.
Into some cons. Firstly, the dating scene. I found the dating environment to be not great. If you look at the numbers, there's actually 70% of the population is male and 30% is female. So lads, if you're thinking of moving, just know that you're walking into a sausage fest is probably what they'd call it. But there's a lot of competition for a select group of women that live there. And I found that just like the certain types of people that Dubai attracts in men, Dubai also attracts a certain type of woman as well. So I found that when I was going on dates, they would be kind of trying to get something out of me, and coming from New Zealand, it was just a complete shock to the system. And I'd never really found anyone that I'd want to date for long term there. So if you're looking for love, Dubai's probably not the place. Number two.
So with that said, I want to give my own thoughts on that. For the first couple of years of me living in Dubai, yes, it was very difficult. The dating scene is very difficult, and I totally understand where this guy is coming from. But with that, to caveat, I've met my long-term partner here in Dubai. We've been together for over 5 years now, so it is actually very much possible. She's from Australia, I'm from England. We both met in Dubai. We both came for similar reasons, not the reasons that he's speaking about, and I do think it is actually possible, but I can see how someone could have that experience, so definitely something to keep in mind.
It was the lack of community, so you don't really have a strong sense of community. Just for me here, being in Serbia at the moment, everyone around here, all their kids are playing together, everyone knows each other, they're all like going to dinner with each other. There's a sense of community here, and in many places around the world, many even large cities, you still have a sense of community where you have your little group of people. I found in Dubai there was really...
So I'm from London, so I do understand what he's saying. London does have more of a larger set community, I would say. You know, you can go and meet your friends in London. There's probably going to be someone hanging out that you can just walk to see. It's a very different vibe in Dubai. Now, if you live in a family community, there's a lot more now than there were a few years ago. So if you live in one of these family-based communities, like a villa community or something, it can have that. But of course, as well as the lack of community vibes, it's also the weather. The weather is really harsh in the summer. So a lot of people leave and it does fragment the communities out there. Now, I've seen recently more, let's say, run clubs and social clubs building. It has definitely been a problem for me as I've moved more into the entrepreneurial space. But my argument for that would be just that it's a very new city and it's newly growing with new people reaching here every single week, every single day, every single year. So I think this will get better, but definitely also something to consider. If you are coming over alone, maybe do reach out to different people before you get here. See if you can set up, you know, coffee with people or like-minded people. See if there's some meetups happening in your niche, that sort of stuff. A run club. All of those things do happen, but they are a little bit sparser than you would find in something like London. But there is the opportunity to meet people here for sure.
Number three is the lack of nature. Of course, Dubai is built in the middle of a desert. There's not much greenery, and if it is, it's artificially watered grass. For me, coming from New Zealand, nature is a big part of me, and that's why I've kind of come to Serbia at the moment to reconnect.
Now, this is one part that I definitely do agree with. The lack of nature is definitely an issue for myself. I find that it does weigh down on you when you can't just, you know, go for a walk in a real park. Now, They're doing their part to try and up that, but at the end of the day, Dubai is built in a desert. So what can you expect? There are so many benefits that's one of the caveats. That is a con. I don't really have much to say about it, apart from the fact that if you are an entrepreneur like myself, the great thing is you don't need to spend all of your time here. I myself actually leave for the summer along with a lot of people. Now, we go to somewhere like Bali, for example, and we live out, we get as much nature as we want, then we come back for the city. I myself am a city boy, so I'm used to London. I like the city. When I get enough of here, I go back to England, I go to Bali, I go traveling, and then I come back again and I'm back in Dubai and back into the hustle and bustle of it. But definitely, if you are into nature, you really want nature, then Dubai may not be suitable for your needs.
Number 4 is strict law enforcement. On the other side of that, strict drug laws, which I think is a positive. On the other side, you also have extremely strict police. And for me, coming from New Zealand, the police there, I thought they were scary until I met Dubai police. And I had a couple little run-ins with like traffic incidents. And these guys do not like you. They are not your friend. They are kind of coming and coming to get you to some degree. And for me, that was very scary, knowing that I was like one mistake away from getting put in jail and that I wouldn't really have my case heard.
Now, I do understand where he's coming from. I do understand the feeling. And when I was first in Dubai, I did feel like the police were a little bit intimidating. Now, I still think they're intimidating. I think that it's good for the police force to do that because it stops the crime. There's absolutely zero crime. So this is something that I want. I want the police to enforce the law, to be intimidating, not to be violent or anything like that we see in other countries, but to be intimidating, to have authority, you know, and I like that. And I would say that my run-ins with the police have actually all been relatively fine. Yes, they might not have conversation a lot with you, like jokey conversation you might expect from a Western country, but I've never had anything short of completely fair and justified experiences with the police.
Number 5 is the lack of actually rejuvenating leisure. I feel like we go out on the weekends and we go do leisure activities to feel recharged and blow off steam. Myself and my friends found that in Dubai, you spend a lot of money, but you don't actually get much back from that. So there's nightclubs, there's bars and stuff. It's nice, but for me, having traveled to a lot of different countries, I could really tell that the leisure in Dubai didn't really give me any kind of recharge feeling.
The leisure is definitely different. Definitely agree with him. Lots of bars, lots of clubs, lots of restaurants, expensive restaurants, but you don't have to live your life too lavish. But yes, I think there is still a lot of ways to go for more relaxed leisures, but they are building these sorts of things. But definitely I agree here. It is tough.
Number 6 is the poor business infrastructure in Dubai. Now this might be surprising for you, thinking that it's like this global hub and it's like the place to be and like business should be super good and easy to run. No, they're getting bank accounts for your business, getting accountants, getting legal counsel, bookkeeping, any kind of.
So this is something that I would also definitely agree with. Now, if you've watched my videos before, you might have noticed me talking about going for the cheapest option. This is something that I did used to do. I used to go for the cheapest option. So I would go for whatever was the cheapest, and that's how I would do it. Now, that is something you can do, and you can get by doing that, but it does cause a lot of headaches. Because basically, that company is serving you the bare minimum because you're giving them the bare minimum. So I've partnered with a bunch of different companies and projects that I actually use myself for my setups. They're linked in the description, and they're not the cheapest on the market. I'm not going to sit here and tell you they're the cheapest on the market. They're not the cheapest because you get a hands-on service where people are there for you. So it is hard to set up bank accounts. It is hard to buy property. It is hard to do different things, but if you have the right team around you, it can actually be very easy.
High cost of living. Everything in Dubai when you're there and living is I don't know, 20, 30, maybe 40% more expensive than anywhere else. Your food, groceries, fuel's quite cheap because they've got oil in the UAE. But for example, I'd have to pay 20 dirhams a lot of the time for an Americano or a double espresso. 20 dirhams is 10 New Zealand dollars, which is about six US dollars. And for me, paying.
So this is one thing that I see all the time on the internet. And I think this is like, I'm always surprised because yes, you can spend a lot of money. You can spend a lot of money in Dubai if you go to certain places. But it always seems like these people hang out in places, like you saw by the clips, they hang out in expensive places. Now, I've been here for a while now. I've been here when I was making much less money. I've been here while making a little bit more money. And you can very much choose what you want to do. You can rent a car for 1,000 dirhams a month, which is £200, right? You can rent a car for 100,000 dirhams a month. You can go and get coffee for 1 dirham, which is 20 pence, right? You can also get coffee for 20 dirhams, like he said. You can go to Lulu Hypermarket, which is the cheap supermarket or one of the cheaper supermarkets. There are even cheaper than that. Or you can go to Spinneys or Waitrose. So you have the choice here. Now, I'm not ripping on him at all. I understand totally. He probably lived in downtown or the marina or somewhere that was quite expensive. And it's fair enough to maybe believe that those are the only areas that are, where you can shop. But this is something that I see a lot and something that I do like to always talk about in my videos. There is a choice here. You can live very, very cheaply. You can live here kind of frugally and save your money and have a nice life. Or you can live here really lavish and really exciting, and you can do the sports cars and the high-rise towers and all of that. You have all of that as an option, and it's all at your fingertips. You can deliver stuff within a minute, 30 minutes. I saw a video of some guy delivering a PlayStation, and it came in I think it was an hour or 2 hours. So it's got everything that you could need, and you can also do cheap stuff. Now, it depends on what it is that you guys like, and of course, everyone's experience is going to change depending on what you expect. Now, I really appreciate these sorts of videos. Liam, if you're actually watching this video, I didn't mean no harm by it. I'm not trying to insult you or anything. I appreciate your views and your opinions. And yeah, hopefully my insights, as with Liam's insights here, did help you make a decision. And if you do have any more questions you want to ask, I'll leave all of my links down there in the description. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.